All right, let's take a look at something real quick. When Elon Musk went to buy Twitter, he went in to look at it, and then there was all that drama where he backed out. And then all of a sudden, he went in and he just bought it, and he had investors. Well, since then, we found out those investors they were Putin friends, Putin's, you know, they were Russian investors, oligarchs. Same type of thing with the other side of the Red School. But anyway, so he got money from somewhere else to buy it. The first thing he does is gut it and gets rid of everything, even the kitchen sink. Remember all that? Now, people were asking me, why would he do that? And I think it's simple. The purpose for buying the most influential platform at the time is to have the most influence. At the time that Russian state TV basically stopped a lot of communications, and one of the channels they took off the air, they had to go into that big investigation that came out with paying 1,800 content creators in the United States and for specific reasons and worldwide operation and all that other stuff. All of that was discovered since the whole buying of Twitter. Now, if you put all of those pieces together, the misinformation campaigns being funded directly, going through shell companies through all different countries that happen to be in places run by people like Orban or President Xi or Little Kim or places like that, they all had shell companies that fed into this big web of paying these influencers to spread specific messages written and directed by the propaganda in the big red country. That's the way it was set up, and that's what was discovered. This is all from directly from federal indictments that have been published. This is all researchable, so go to it if you don't want to listen. All right, so they found the people they were paying and all that, and the biggest component of misinformation was on X. And what X was doing was putting these super strict fact checkers on everyone's account except Elon Musk's account, Trump's account, and all the operatives in this little web. So everyone thinks everything's getting supremely fact checked, when in fact, these particular accounts, it's not active. So they put out whatever the hell they want. And that alone, as far as psyops is concerned, psychological operations in invading a country without firing a shot, is the specialty of Putin over there. Putin that was his job in the KGB, is psyops. So when you're thinking from that perspective, and then you look again at why Twitter was handled the way it was handled, why everybody was cleaned out and fired the way they were, is because they weren't important. They just needed the shell, the vehicle of retweeting misinformation to still be viable. They didn't really care about all the Twitter nicks and crannies and if the company tanked. They don't care. So when people are like, well, Twitter's losing this much, they don't care. The job is over. The job was November 6th. That's why Twitter was purchased. Bottom line, it wasn't a business move. It was a political move. And it was sponsored by the biggest puppet master in the world. All of that is tied into regrading the tests of November 6th. All of that is part of it, going all the way back to 2016. So if you look at the purchase of Twitter and how everything has happened on Twitter the way it has, people like Elon Musk is stupid for doing the Twitter. Elon Musk was a vehicle for that piece of the puzzle to be put in place for America's biggest test. Because if the Red School opens, the big Red School has carte blanche. They've already said to the principal of the Red School, you got your doors open from us, you owe us, and we will collect. And then a couple weeks later said, as a reminder, we are coming. This is as they're preparing to open. So you think of all of this, that is proven. and then go back and question why Twitter was bought the way it was bought and why he did what he did when he got in. And it makes perfect sense. He didn't want people in their positions to know they shouldn't be doing something they're doing. So he got rid of anybody who could stand in the way of the, fact checking only going to certain accounts and taking down accounts like Taylor Swift's for no reason. But it's all about free speech, right? And that's where educating yourself on behind the scenes and falling for bullshit pulpit speeches from con men and women wearing a red or a blue jacket. Because the big guy internationally, has been trying to do this forever. Divide and conquer. That has been the goal. That is rule number one in military. That's an old saying, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. Twitter did a pretty good job. It did its job. It was worth $44 billion is what they invested in it. Success. To help destroy a government, your biggest adversary, $44 billion. Good deal. Putin's partying over that investment, and now he's bragging about it. You still owe me. I know where you live. You're going to be at that 1600 place, aren't you there, Donnie boy? No, he won't. Wrong address. Return to sender. Ladies and gentlemen, the big picture is quite interesting if you stay back there and just watch. So as you're hearing all this stuff about Twitter and everyone jumping ship and going to blue sky and how it's a big revolt and it's going to really hurt Elon Musk bad. Number one, it wasn't his money. And number two, he was a pawn in a big red chess game. And so is the slightly orange tinged one. A pawn. NATO. Nuclear deal with Iran. Paris Peace Agreement. How much more do you need? It's all part of the plan. And look through Project 2025. Look through the rules of the Red School if the Red School does get to open, which they won't, so don't worry. So why did he do what he did with Twitter? That's why. And he also has the satellite capability and the only communications over Ukraine and Gaza. Yeah, very strategic places, and all the swing states in the United States, coincidentally enough. That seems very, very purposely done. You know how many times he shut off communications to Ukraine during the Russian war upon request? He did it the day Donald Trump told Zelensky that he wasn't getting any more money from them, which is why Biden said, oh, by the way, you can shoot these farther in if you want, and don't worry, we'll give you your nukes, because if we're going to be out of NATO, you're going to need them. Checkmate. It's all tied in, ladies and gentlemen, to the purchase of freaking Twitter. Big picture is much more entertaining to watch from, and it's a lot less stress. Trust me. There's plenty of open seats. Come on and join me. Stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together. Logic must be our focus on everything. God bless.